Hi, welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time stepping by, welcome. My name is Cynthia, and in today's tutorial, we are going to be making these beautiful shirts. I used 1.5 yards of fabric to create this. It comes with a side pocket and also a cargo pocket and an elastic band. This shirt is very easy, not too much time needed. I'm straight to the point and very beginner friendly. So if you want to learn how to make these beautiful shirts, please don't forget to like, subscribe. You can share it, comment. I would really appreciate every help I can get. I'm reaching for 100 subscribers before the end of the month, so please, thank you very much. We're going to go ahead now and fold our fabric into two. So this doesn't need to be on fold because we're going to open that up later on. And we're going to take 1 inch measurement now. As you see me taking right now, this 1 inch is basically just for seam allowance, nothing too much. So just remember to take your 1 inch measurement because we are not drafting this on the brown paper. We're just drafting this straight on the fabric. So take your 1 inch measurement, then go to the top of the fabric after you draw your starting line and you measure 2.5 inches downwards. This is going to be where our band is going to be placed, and I'm doing 2.5, not 2, because my band is 1 inch and we're going to need to turn the band, just like a little bit of sewing allowance to turn the band later on. So after you do that, you draw that or you square that out. Then from that 2 inches or 2.5 inches you take, that's where you're going to start your measurement. So I'm going to start taking from my waist to my hips. My waist to my hips is 9 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and mark that down. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark my crotch measurement. I'm just going to put how to get the crotch measurement on the screen right here for you so you don't get confused. After taking the crotch measurement, I'm going ahead to take the full length of my knicker, my shorts, and then I'm going to put the sewing allowance. I'm using 2 inch for sewing allowance, but later on I decided to just use 1 inch because I wanted the short to not to be too short. But anyway, I'm just squaring all that out. Remember, from my waist to my hips I took 9 inches. From my waist to my crotch I took 11.5 inches. Then my full length is 16 inches, then 2 inches extra for allowance. So I have 5 lines now at the moment, and these 5 lines are going to be my basic lines to make my short and make it perfect. So we're going to start out by taking our round measurement, our circumference measurement. So we're going to take our hips measurement on the waist and everywhere else. So the hips measurement, or the waist measurement rather, doesn't matter here now. We're going to just make a straight line. So our hips measurement, our hips measurement is 40 inches. I'm using 40. My hips measurement normally is 39, but I'm going to be using 40 because I don't want the shirt to be tight. I want it to be free. So I'm going to be dividing that by 4, which is going to be 10 inches. Then go out 2.5 inches, and then when you do that, that's going to be your crotch extension. Your crotch extension, you come up by at the corner there, the 90 degrees corner, you come up by 1 inch and you curve just like you've seen me do. So when you do that, you're going to take in all these measurements from the line you took at the beginning, right? Not at the beginning of the fabric, right? So we're going to go ahead, measure the circumference of your thighs, and whatever you get, you can add 2 inches so your shirt doesn't be too tight. Mine was 12, and that's what I'm just ruling right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and make my rulings, elongate my rulings at the top so my band is well allocated for, and I'm going ahead to make my allowance because again I am not cutting this on the pattern paper. This is cutting straight on the fabric. If you don't put allowance, it's not going to size you. So I'm just going ahead to notch the allowance part I put. That way we know where we are going to be sewing it from. So just like I said, we're going to be opening this up, and we basically just finished cutting the shorts, the front part of our shorts. So going back now, we're going to cut the back of our shorts. So first of all, you're going to start by making sure the fabric you put for the back part is 1 inch longer than the front short, right? So just look at what I'm doing. See the short, the front part is what I'm using now to make out our back pattern, but it's shorter at the top. It's 1 inch shorter, or rather I'm going to take my 1 inch measurement at the top. Now just watch what I'm doing. So our crotch length, crotch area, we're going to go in by 2.5. While the other parts, the part I'm measuring down there, I'm going to go in by 2 inches. Every other part 2 inches except the crotch part. The crotch part, you're coming out by 2.5. Remember that, that's very important. And now we're just going to square up our lines, and I'm going to draw my crotch part that way. So we're going to carve out the crotch area now, just the same way you're seeing me do. The two parts have to align, that's the front and the back, so you make sure it's done well, it's done right, and just go ahead and cut that out. So as you can see now, you can clearly see the back area, and you can clearly see the front side. Okay, so now to draw out the waist part for the back, like we said earlier on, we're taking 1 inch at the back, and you're just going to draw it down like a triangle to meet the front part, because at the end of the day, the two sides of the front and back has to meet. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out. So basically we are actually done with our back pants or back shorts. I keep calling it pants when it's short, but basically done with our back shorts. So this particular tutorial is for people that don't want to draw a pattern for a short and you just want to go straight to the point. So it's best for you to draw it on your pattern or your fabric instead of drawing on a pattern paper. So I'm just going ahead to open it like I opened the front, and I'm going to notch that the same way I notched the front. Remember, this 1 inch is for the seam allowance. If you don't have a seam allowance, it's not going to size you. So I'm labeling it now because both fabrics, the two sides of the fabric kind of look alike, so it's best to always label and make sure you check which one is the front and which one is the back. So now we're going to go ahead and we're cutting out the pocket area. This is for the cargo pocket. So the length of it is 11 inches while the width is 9 inches. So you just go ahead and square it out. We're cutting 2 pieces for this because obviously the cargo pocket is going to come at the two sides of your shirt. So just go ahead and square it out and you cut it out. And a cargo pocket usually has cover, kind of like a small cover. So we're going to go ahead and cut that out also. Okay, this is just me opening it up now because again, two pockets, this is one, this is two, and we're going ahead to cut out the pocket area. The pocket area is also going to be the same width, which is 9 inches, and you can come down by 5 inches for the cover of the pocket. I came down by 5 because I'm going to use 1 inch to turn it up. It's going to eventually, after you sew the cover, it's going to eventually be 4 inches. So 5 inches just for allowance to turn up the edges. So you go ahead and open that up as well, and we're done with the cargo pocket. So we're coming out to make the sides pocket. Now the pockets I'm going to be making now are inseam pockets. So I'm taking out, for the width I'm going to be taking 7 inches, and for the length I'm going to be taking 11.5. And just the length actually depends on how long you want your pocket to be. I kind of like my pocket being a little bit deep, so I'm taking 11 inches for that, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out like you see me do so. Okay, so as you saw, I cut 4 of them at once because it's on fold. I kind of lapped them together on top of each other just so I don't have to do 2 different things everything can come out being the same. So basically we're going to our sewing machine now to join everything together. And so I'm going first of all I'm taking out my band measurements, which is what I just took out now. Remember, we're starting our measurement from the band. So I'm going to be making my inseam pocket right now, and I've taken 7 inches after the waistline, the waist measurement I took down, and I'm just going to go ahead and sew that out now like you see me do. So basically this is just me showing you how I'm going ahead to sew everything I'm sewing, and just watch and you can learn as you watch. Okay, so after sewing that, you go out and you go back and press it down to make your sewing neat. So I'm going back here now to just make another stitch on top, just because I want it to lay flat and look very neat. So you can go ahead and do that. It's not really compulsory, you can leave it as it is, but I prefer doing it this way. And so after doing that, now I'm going ahead to take the other side of the shorts I'm making. So because one side is the back, the other side is the front, right? The pocket is going to be in the middle of both of them by the sides, right? So go ahead and do the same thing. You take 2.5 measurement from the waist down for your band. Then you take 7 inches and you connect the pocket again, just the way you did for the first one. Do it for the other side of the shorts, and you sew them. Okay, so after doing that, go ahead again to go and iron. You go and press it down and you make a top stitch on top just for it to lay flat. Okay, so now we have both of them together, right? And we're just going ahead to join everything now together. So this is still the pocket area we're working on. Okay, so you can see I kind of started sewing down. We're going to be closing the whole thing up, but we're still going to be leaving allowance for the pocket. So just watch what you're doing. So this part I'm sewing on right now is the pocket area. So exactly what I'm doing is quite simple. It's not that complicated. You close that up to make sure there are no holes in your pocket, and you turn it back like I'm doing now, and you go 1/2 inch away from the seam allowance. That's from the 7 you measured, and just do what exactly I'm doing, and you close that up also. So you are going to be taking your 1 inch right now for the seam allowance you made for the shorts, and then we're going to be joining the front and the back. So this is me joining the front and the back together, and that's basically it for the pocket. I really do hope you understand what exactly I'm teaching you. So this is how it turns out. This is how the pocket turned out. You go ahead and press that out to make it look neat, to make sure your work is very presentable and looks very neat. So I've gone ahead to do the same thing for the other side, and we're just going to go ahead and turn that up. This is where I was telling you I took 2 inches for the allowance at the full length, but I eventually just decided to take just 1 inch away, or 1/2 inch, just because I wanted it to not be too short, right? So as I was saying, I have gone ahead and I have done the same thing for the other side of my shorts. That means I have put the pocket on the other side of the shorts. This is just me showing you an example of how I did it for one. And we're just going ahead to join everything together. No, not joining right now. We're going to go first of all and put our cargo pocket. I forgot about that for a minute. So cargo pocket is very if you are going to be making a cargo short, you have to put the cargo pocket at this point. You can't close everything up before you put the cargo pocket. You have to put the cargo pocket when everything is still open like this, when the back and the front we've not joined the crotch area. So you have to put the cargo pocket now. So I'm basically just getting the middle of the cargo pocket. You measure the middle, just fold it in two and get the middle point. Then you put it on the you know how the seam demarcation of the back and front, you put it the middle part at the same. You just know how you're going to do it. It's not very hard to do, and you basically just sew that down. And although you have to pick a part where you want your cargo pocket to start and stop, I didn't have a lot of allowance or a lot of extra space on my short. So if your short is longer, you figure out where you want to place your cargo pocket. There's no exact location for it. You can just eyeball it and see where you would like it, and you just close that up. So I've gone ahead to do that, and I'm going to be putting the cover of the cargo pocket right now. So as you can see, it's very close to the main pocket, but that's fine. It's a short. It's supposed to look like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and close everything up, right? We're going to be joining the crotch area now. So this is what you're going to be having. Everything has to align. I keep mentioning that in my videos, but to make your videos look a lot more professional, alignment has to be something you're heavily focused at. So the crotch area of the back and the front has to meet together and has to look neat, presentable. So this is just me joining everything now, and basically we're joining for the other side as well. So remember, the back and the back crotch area are going to be together, the front and the front crotch area are going to be together. So this is me doing that now. I've joined the back, this is the front, and we're just going to have a very interesting looking piece right now. So after you've done that, you will now take out just what I'm doing now. You take the two crotch parts that you've joined, and you're going to join that two together. Again, it has to be aligned, just what I'm doing now. And you make a stitch down. I took only half an inch for this, so that's the same thing you will do. How many inches you took for the sides, you take that to your machine and you sew down. So everything just worked out well. It was very easy, and it came out very pretty, as you could see at the beginning, and I'll show it to you again at the end. But this is how to make your cargo shorts. So after we've done this now, I'm just going to show you how it looks. I'm just going to spread it out on the machine now to show you how it looks, right? So we're going to go ahead now and start fixing our band, but before that, you go ahead to your iron and you press it down. Again, ironing while you work makes your work look very, very neat. So we're going to go ahead now to our machine now and take 1 inch for the band, and we're going to sew. Also remember that we're going to be leaving a little bit of allowance while we're sewing here, just to be able to pass our elastic band through. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew that down, and this is it. After I'm done sewing it, I'm going to go ahead and take my elastic band and hook it up to a safety needle. Is this safety pin? I don't know what this thing is called. I keep forgetting. I keep mixing it up with an office pin or safety pin. I'm not sure. But those pins that are kind of clip, like look at the pins now. You clip that together and you pass it through. So this is just me passing it through, and you have to be very conscious of what you're doing right now, because if you pull too much, you're just going to be wasting your time, because the end side can just come in through and you wasted your whole time and you have to start again. So you have to make sure the end part of the elastic is visible to you while you're passing the other side through the hole, or through the 1 inch space that you kept for the the allowance for the elastic band. So after I'm done that, I'm going to join the elastic bands together, the two sides of the elastic band together, and I'm going to close up the hole I used to pass the elastic through. I hope that's understandable. And this is just me closing that up, and basically I'm done. I had carried it to my weaving machine, or carried my shorts to the weaving machine to close up or to just make it look neater. And this is basically what we have now. This is the shorts. I have a little bit of a shirt that or top, kind of a top I made with this fabric that I'm going to pair it with. But this is exactly how it came out. I liked the length, I liked everything about it. I liked it was not too tight. And basically, yeah, this is how it came out. So, before I forget, for your elastic that you're going to be using, make sure your waist measurements you minus 2 or 3, depending on how tight you want it to be. I minus 2. So my waist is 28 and I minus 2, which means the elastic was 26. If you want it to be too tight, you can minus 3, which will give you like 25. I don't like the elastic lines on my waist when I remove my shorts, so I minus just 2. Anyway, that is it for me for this tutorial, for this video. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, comment down, and just let me know what you think. If you also try this tutorial, you can also tag me. I have my social media handles linked, and yeah, so that's it for this video. Bye bye, and have a lovely week, have a lovely December, have a lovely Christmas. Bye bye.